G'day everybody. I want to talk about religion programming from birth and what it causes. And in this story, it talks about control to innocence. As when you're born into things, or it's been most of your life, or most around you's like it and promote it, it makes you become it. Like when the government used to promote cigarettes, right? All over the TV, and people started smoking. Promotes things. But they're innocent, right? Now they're trying to fix it by making them suffer with payments, stuff like that. Right, as they use control domination. Now, when it comes to religion, brainwash, Louis Theroux would know all about this, hey mate? And how a lot of people will be loyal and fuck up heaps of times and realise what they're doing is wrong, right? But it might take a little bit. But they're innocent, as Louis Theroux will talk to some of these people in these religion groups that are pretty bad in some areas. So you can imagine a religion state, religion country, stuff like that, as we see around the world, as they call Israel one of them, as it's mostly religious. Right? You will see some of these forms of growing up and what they would say their ways. Right? They're brought up in it. And some of them are captured, like North Korea, where they get brought up in a way and they're not allowed to go see others as they don't want them to mingle to find out that their way's not the way. Right? And the ones that try to keep things quiet are more the wrong way. Right? As if they're the right way, there's nothing to hide, which is what I like when it comes to the Hamish, allowing them to go pick before they make them come back and choose their way for good and know that their way's a good way to live the rest of your life. Right? And that's what all religions are like. But some of them are pretty bad. In fact, a lot of them out there, and a lot these days, as we see all around the world, are all corrupted and getting worse because of copying, right? And they're not the right people, but they're using things to make their benefits, right? And so when it comes to Gaza, we have a whole bunch of people there. I've talked about a few clips about them, about the farmers and what innocent people are. And they can all have the same religion, and they can get bad leaders, a little bit like in wars, how some people fought wars and they didn't want to, but they had to, right, because of their leaders. And so they were forced to do a war. And so when it comes to these religious people, or these spiritual people, or any other type of ones like that, they end up getting fixated in believing such a thing. And they believe it's right. As they're brought up in it and the people around them talk about it, stuff like that. And so they trust their leader, their spiritual person, to lead them the way. And in some of these groups, some of them drink poison to capture things and to lead the way and all those things, which are not really right. But maybe in their world, in the afterworld, they would have found that out, but who knows. It's definitely not a way to show us how things can work continuously here, as there's no evidence to show that anything worked, right? Except craziness. And so when it comes to these leaders, they can tell people to do the wrong thing. So when people believe someone is something, they will believe maybe to do the wrong thing. Definitely when all religious said sometimes you've got to do the wrong thing. You've got to go on the dark side a little bit. And they can get confused, depends on the education rate and what they've propaganded recently too, to wind people up and stuff like that. And they send these groups in. They do it all the time, right? They can be big groups, little groups. Some people give these groups an example of a name is like the Taliban, right? And they end up making them do things, right, which go into rape or get people and stuff like that. And when that happens, they might find, like I found trying to get in my ego and stuff like that and hang out and thought what was cool and to be dominating, to shoot a bird, right, and then felt guilty afterwards. Because you're sort of innocent, as you didn't really know what was going to happen, what you're going to feel when you did that. But you heard it was a good thing to do. There are pests, this and that and this, right? And you thought it was a good thing, but then you didn't get the feeling to go with it. And you don't understand it. You go, why did that feel bad? Why did that scream make me feel bad? Why do I have to quickly do this now? And this wasn't good. Why did this happen? And did you feel good? And then some people might go, yeah, I felt good. And go, well, see, that makes us different. Right? And some people continue, and I go, I understand death, and I understand sometimes you need to kill things, But to kill innocent things, it just didn't feel good. Right? When I was in my ego, I could somehow get a feeling of it. You can change, right? And it makes you want to do it. But then you do it again, and then you're like, oh shit. Right? Have you ever been there before? And so you got to watch things like that. And so these things can happen. So if you watch these Louis Theroux episodes, it'll help you out. He's out there more than. And to show the point about these religious people and what can go on, you'll get more of a point of what I'm talking about. And then you'll see that they're innocent and they've moved on. It took time and they've been banned out of their group, how much they're corrupt. And they banned them usually out of their group too, just because they wanted to be something different, which is sad, right? And that's the same incident now that you see them. That's why you even hear their people now going, we don't like him. We've got to a point now. We thought we had hope. We thought he was on the right side of their religion and their God. They thought that these people were the enemy, but they were misled. We get misled all the time. But it's us as a collective to find out who misled who and what is spiritual and what was going on, right? Instead of bullying each other too much. Sometimes there's a story, you don't need to do unto others that done unto you. You don't need to do that. It's only a guideline, right? First, you need to use your knowledge of what you learnt when you're up to, and hopefully it's a good spot. Right? But anyway, hopefully this attack group ganging up and all these things in certain areas slows down a little bit. It's getting a bit out of control out there, I think. And have a good one, everybody. See you later.